Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my AFL tipping series. This time I'm going to be tipping the round 12 AFL games. We've got some buys again, not finally, but we've got 4 teams to the buy this time. This is, for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be that awkward sort of amount of games given all the buys. We've got a Thursday, a Friday, 3 Saturdays and 2 Sunday games this week. And the team to the buy are Brisbane, North Melbourne, Sydney and GWS. So 2 very big teams with the bye in Sydney and GWS. And North Melbourne get a week off to try and recoup anything they have to get a win next week. The first game we have is Port Adelaide taking on Carlton at Adelaide Oval. Port Adelaide's home ground. Port Adelaide are 1 win and 13% ahead of Carlton in terms of percentage. Carlton, if they lose this game, you would think drop out the 8, given either Gold Coast or Fremantle win. And we'll get onto Gold Coast and Fremantle in a second. For the Port Adelaide Football Club, if they lose, they will probably drop out of the top 4. If they win, they will drive into that top 4 and they will stay there. It's going to be a difficult game now. At the time recording on Wednesday, the day before this game, Connor Rosie is not playing. He didn't do the captain's run. So the rumours are he's not playing. So I'm going to assume he's not playing. And that's going to make quite a big difference. No Rosie, no captain, no amazing midfielder out there. They still have Butters, they still have Horne-Francis, Will Drew. But Walsh, Cripps, can the defenders... I think Alia will be a very good matchup for Charlie Curnow. But, the matchup, will Radaglia hold Harry Mackay? Well, we're not so sure. I'm actually going to go with the Carlton victory here. I think Carlton will be pouncing on this Port Adelaide team. And I think Port Adelaide are a little bit fraudulent. And that's why I'm going to go with Carlton. Let's go with Carlton by around 15 points. Collingwood taking on the Dogs at Marvel Stadium. Collingwood have even more injuries. This is a danger game for Collingwood at Marvel Stadium as well, which is where the Dogs prefer it. The Dogs do have injuries themselves too. No Norton, no Ed Richards, someone else, Scott as well. Big injuries to both teams, so a lot of youth will be in this game. I think if it was the MCG, I would 100% say Collingwood, but the fact is that Marvel is shaking me a little bit. I'm still going to go with the Collingwood victory here, given their form. 35 points, we'll say, pretty comfortable. They'll play Marvel Stadium fine, but a nice Friday night game, and we're going to go with the Collingwood win at home for them. At the MCG on Saturday, we have got Hawthorn taking on Adelaide. Both teams are coming off brilliant victories. Hawthorn beating Brisbane, Adelaide dominating nearly by 100 points, the West Coast Eagles. It is at the G, so it's Hawthorn's home ground. Adelaide... This is an interesting matchup. Neither team have amazing midfielders. Both teams, you would say, have struggled at various points this season, but both teams are now getting into form. Adelaide win this game. They find themselves closer to the top 8, but still a little bit away. And as for Hawthorn, if they win this game, they will overtake Adelaide on the ladder and get closer to that potential top 8 finish, which I don't think will happen. It is an interesting game. I think Adelaide do have the capabilities here to get a victory, but I'm going to go with the Hawthorn Football Club because there's no real reason. I don't even know what the odds are for this, actually. Let me check really quick. Adelaide are tipped to win, so I've gone with an upset here. Hawthorn victory, why not? I need an upset, so let's go with Hawthorn to win. We've got West Coast taking on St Kilda soon after at Optus Stadium. This is the biggest game of the round in terms of the repercussions if St Kilda lose. Any other team lose this round doesn't really matter. If St Kilda lose this game, it is game over for Ross Lyon and he needs to go. And I'm here for it. So I'm going to tip the West Coast Eagles at home to get the job done over the Saints. The Saints should win this game. They have the quality, but somehow the West Coast Eagles are favourites. That is just mental. That is absolutely mental. How they're favourites, I don't know. In fact, will the West Coast Eagles win? Will they win? St Kilda, can they get the job done? I feel like sometimes I think of St Kilda as a good team and I want to tip them. And then I think, no. St Kilda really aren't that good. I don't know. I don't know. This one's hard. This one's really hard. Really, really hard. West Coast at home have been good this season, so we'll just stick with West Coast. Later that night, Geelong are taking on Richmond at GMHBA. Geelong have not been that great at GMHBA recently, but Richmond are Richmond, and we've got even more injury. No Shea Bolton. I think Geelong dominate us. That's the easiest tip of the round. We've got Melbourne taking on Fremantle at TP. What stadium is that? Oh, in Alice Springs, Traeger Park. It's technically a Melbourne home game, but you would assume there's no home ground advantage here. Melbourne and Fremantle are both very defensive teams. It'll be low scoring. It'll be maximum 120 points accumulated score, I reckon. Maybe 130. I think Melbourne should win this. Fremantle are looking good, but Melbourne are in the top 4, and this will be a game they want to win. And so we'll go with Melbourne pretty comfortably here. And the final game is something I've been struggling with as well. Gold Coast Football Club are taking on the Essendon Football Club. Now, Gold Coast, this is in the Gold Coast, the People's First Stadium. So it's their home game. Excuse me, yawning. Essendon are in second place. That's just the reality of it. But they're not playing like a team that's in second place, if that makes sense. I feel like traditionally Gold Coast are pretty good against Essendon. I want to see if I can find head-to-heads here. Here we go. Last year Essendon won. The year before Essendon won. The year before Essendon... Okay, wow. No, so in fact Essendon always beat Gold Coast. Now Gold Coast are coming off a little bit of a loss against Carlton, but they dominate Gold Coast. They dominate North. So they're actually in good form. Essendon are many games undefeated. They're coming off 4 victories in a row, but only one impressive win. 3 of those 4 victories has come against Richmond, North Melbourne, and the West Coast Eagles, who aren't the best teams in the world. We'll say that lightly. I think I'm going to go with Gold Coast because it's in the Gold Coast. If it was at a neutral ground or at Essendon's home game, I would definitely go for Essendon. But I just think the Gold Coast on the Gold Coast are looking so fun this season. So I'm going to go with Gold Coast. And that's the round. Yeah, not many games, so many buys. Let me know your tips in the comments. Thanks for watching. And I'll be... follow the TikTok, FTFooty as well. And I'll be seeing you in another video.